So welcome, viewers. Thank you very much for taking the time to come and join us on a pillar of the community on today's program. Today, we're quite happy to have on the program Noura Sheikhalzoor. And Noura is a registered dietitian and a certified diabetes educator. She's also the founder of nourishwithnoura.com. Noura helps people with diseases like diabetes and hypothyroidism to control those diseases using diet. With that, I would like to welcome to the program Noura. Thank you for joining us, Noura.
Thank you for having me.
Good, good. So on today's program, we're quite excited to learn a little bit about how you go about controlling these diseases with diet, and some of the good advice that you would have for the viewers out there, as well as even myself. So let's start off. Tell me, what is an endocrine dietitian?
Great. So this is my specialty. So first, I'm a registered dietitian, and I specialize in endocrinology. So endocrinology is the science that looks at the endocrine system, which is the glands that produces hormones inside the body. So things like the thyroid gland, which is here, or the adrenal gland, which are above your kidneys, or the pancreas, which produces insulin mainly to help with sugar metabolism or carbohydrate metabolism. So all of these glands and the hormones that they produce is called endocrinology, and this is my specialty. So it's like an endocrine, I call myself sometimes an endocrine dietitian, because I help with those like the conditions and the disorders that affect the endocrine system.
Right. Okay, I see. So but you try to deal with whatever is affecting you through diet, right? Is that it?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Good. Good. Why did you choose to become an endocrine dietitian, or even a dietitian on the whole?
Awesome. Yeah. So I love science so much. And this is what I really am very passionate about, helping people as well. So that's why I became a dietitian. And I chose endocrinology specifically because that was my first experience after academia. So I was helping with with teaching and working in an academic setting. And after that, when I worked in clinical nutrition as a clinical dietitian, I worked in endocrinology. So I help people living with diabetes, with hypothyroidism, with a condition called PCOS, mainly, and and uh, and here where I developed a lot of like knowledge and skills in these areas, and a lot of passion to help people in these areas.
Right. Right. Okay. Good. I see. So you have a passion for doing this, right? And
Very much,
and and I
yes.
mean, while you're doing this, do you? I mean, when we study, we think, oh, this is something I want to get into. But when we actually get into it, it's something different. Is that
Mhm.
how it is for you, or is that you wanted to do it from the start and you still love doing it?
So actually, when I was in school, I really wanted to become a renal dietitian, so a kidney dietitian, because many people with kidney disease, they need also to monitor and work on their diet. And after working in that area, I actually didn't feel that this is the area for me, but it was different in endocrinology, and I really enjoyed working in that area.
So the fact that you love doing this, it says a lot, because once somebody has a passion for what they're doing, they're so much better at it, than somebody who's just doing it just to make money for a job.
Absolutely.
Um, so I've heard the term a hormone nutritionist. I know I'm learning about what an endocrine dietitian is. Is there a difference between them?
When I sometimes you can use the both terms interchangeably, um, but the thing is, like I use the term hormone nutritionist in my blog because it's more searchable on Google, because people, like many people, don't search for a dietitian, and every dietitian is a nutritionist, but unfortunately not every nutritionist is a dietitian. I don't want to complicate things here, but the thing is, a hormone nutritionist is similar to an endocrine dietitian in terms of like using words and playing with words.
I see, I see. Okay, which is good. So basically, you're doing the same thing essentially, which is controlling either your hormones or I guess by diet. Is that it?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Except there are many different hormones throughout the body. So I guess your area of specialties is on the endocrine system, correct?
Yeah, yeah. And the endocrine system is the system that is responsible for hormones.
Hormone. Oh, I see. Okay. You have
Yes.
to forgive me. Not very knowledgeable on this whole field of
You
it.
don't have to. That's why we exist.
Right. So now that we know what a hormone nutritionist is and an endocrine dietitian, which is what you prefer to be referred to as, tell me about this workbook you have. You have a workbook I see on your website, which is 5 steps to navigate your new hormonal condition. Right.
Mhm,
What,
mhm.
what is the objective of this workbook, or what is this workbook all about?
Yeah. So I created this workbook to help people who are like when a person gets a new diagnosis, especially in the area of like hormonal health, they actually use most of the time they get the diagnosis, some prescription, and with very little amount of guidance from their provider. So what I wanted to provide is something to tell the person who's like overwhelmed, stressed about their diagnosis, to get some steps to go with this diagnosis, especially when they are newly diagnosed. So and I created it in a way that is a workbook so they can gather information, write down their thoughts, um, write down some kind of information if they want to see another practitioner where they can give them like write down their questions and all of that. So it's more of like a tool that they can use especially at the beginning of stages of their diagnosis. Like let's say they were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and they were like confused all around. So what are the steps that they can take, they can use this workbook to help them with.
Okay, and it's talking about navigating your hormonal conditions. So I guess when you talk about these 5 steps, basically you're trying to give you a roadmap or some sort of way in which to kind of get a handle on what's happening, yeah, and how you can control it.
Not really, because not about control very much, but mostly about your kind of status when you are newly diagnosed. So what you actually need, like I talk about self-compassion, I talk about community, I talk about resources, where to find resources, things like that. But regarding control specifically, it needs like more an individualized approach because different conditions need have like a different kind of plan and action.
Okay. So is it that you see a patient and you basically give them the workbook and you take them through the steps of it, or is it something that they can take home and do on their own?
Yeah, so they can take home and do on their own, and it's mostly through my through the website. So they can go on the website whenever they sign in to my email. They receive this workbook, and then they receive more information about different things that I share information about.
I see. I see. Okay. So it's a tool basically to help them to understand better and to get a handle on what's happening. Okay, good, good. Now, again, I also saw on your website you had an A1c Victory Roadmap.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about. Firstly, tell me what A1c is, and then let's talk about what this roadmap does.
Yes. So A1c is a term that might be familiar to people who are living with diabetes or pre-diabetes, and usually A1c is it shows the average of blood sugar over 3 months. Doctors usually look at A1c as a diagnostic tool for any blood sugar problems, and also they look at A1c for as a monitoring tool for people like who are living with a condition that's related to blood sugar control. So I called the program that's for people living with diabetes, an A1c Victory Roadmap, because I wanted them to have kind of more clarity about how to control their blood sugar and how to help them reduce their blood sugar with diet and lifestyle measures. So it's a program that I created over 12, like it's a 12-week program, and I see clients every 2 weeks where we discuss a different topic that that educates them. So I give them the educational tool, so that empowers them with more information, more than they can get from like a regular setting, and then they get like an action plan where they can work towards the next step in their care. Most of the time, people like with nutrition and lifestyle, they reduce their A1c to a level, of course, and to a level that is acceptable, especially if they were diagnosed with pre-diabetes, which is a condition before diabetes. And when they are diagnosed with diabetes, they might not need medication at the beginning, or they might need medication. So with medication and lifestyle, they can help control their blood sugar, which is a very important part in their care.
Right, right, yeah. So we know that controlling, of course, your sugar level is very important because it leads to all sorts of things, glaucoma, and a host of or a whole bunch of other stuff.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, so it's quite important to now how, like, your roadmap and in terms of controlling, I guess it's to control the A1c, or at least to keep it down, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more in detail about what the roadmap spells out. So it tells you, okay, you need to maybe assess yourself, and then depending on what you find on your daily tests, right, then you basically work out a diet plan for them. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, that we meet every other week. So for the first session, usually it's an assessment session, and after that, each session is going to be about a topic that's related to their blood sugar control. So one topic can be about how to reduce blood sugar. One topic about heart health and cholesterol, because that's also related to blood sugar control and diabetes control. Another session can be about, of course, like it's individualized, so it's based also on the client's needs. One session is about medication and how they work, and so they are more aware of what's happening in their body. And as a certified diabetes educator, I have like a more knowledge about their medication and what they can do about their medications and how can they take it the right way. Another session can be about like insulin and how insulin works, and like it all depends on their needs from the initial assessment and their goals, like what they actually want, and how reducing their blood sugar can impact their lives.
Right, right. Okay, I see. And of course, so is this program, it's a 12-week program, you said. Is it
Mhm.
like you see, well, now with COVID, do you meet with them online, or is it you
Yes.
physically? Okay. So
Yeah, all yeah. So at the beginning of my practice, when I started this, it was in person, but like after a few months, COVID hit us, and I transferred all my practice to a virtual practice. So now I see people from all over Ontario, versus I used only to see people from the GTA area.
yeah. Tell me something, as you said, Ontario, and you see people from all over Ontario. Does OHIP cover your services?
Unfortunately, not.
Okay.
Most of my services are covered by like insurances through
Right. Private.
employment benefits,
Right.
but yeah, they are not covered by OHIP.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you guys should, as dietitians, get together and lobby for the government to include
We
you.
are trying, actually, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it is an important part of that, like diseases care, to have to
Right.
take care of
Yeah.
your diet and lifestyle.
Of course, because doctors tell you that, in order to deal with all these things that you may have, with diseases, whatever they are, it's mainly lifestyle changes, which includes, or a big part of that is diet, a change to your diet, right? And so, as we talk about diet, is it better to eat organic, or processed foods? I mean, is organic better?
This is, yeah, it's a very debatable question. At at the end, like the bottom line of this question is that like there's no difference between organic and conventional in terms of nutritional value. So what we
Okay.
recommend to people is to take whatever they can afford. If they can afford organic, they can go with organic. If they can afford like only conventional, there's no big difference in terms of nutritional value. Of course, uh, it's at the end, it's a personal choice.
Right.
So
And I guess, what I've seen as well, as you said, it's personal choice, but it also comes down to budget and financial restraints, because organic stuff, it's a lot more expensive.
exactly.
I guess when people think organic, it's not really, or when we say organic, it's not really on the nutritional side, as you said. It's the same nutritional value. It's just that the way it's grown, no pesticides, or
That's
no weedicides and that sort of thing. So I
that's right.
guess, yeah, but
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 actually, in organic, they use some sort of pesticides that are not synthetic. So they use more of like natural pesticides
I see.
and natural kind of ways to grow the plants
Right,
and
right, right.
food.
Okay, I see. So, so that's good in terms of this roadmap. So, you do you do this roadmap, this A1c Victory Roadmap, when you meet with them? Do you meet with a group of people, or do you see each individual client? You see clients on an individual basis?
It's individual, very individual program. uh,
Okay.
and yeah, and that's why I designed the roadmap based on the individual need and individual kind of assessment.
Right. Okay. I see. Well, I guess, yeah, everyone is different, right? I guess, but do you do any education program in groups, like at the community centers or anything like that?
So I am planning to do that, so that can be a future plan for me, is
Right.
to start doing something that is like to work with groups of people and give them more like education and information and how to deal with their conditions.
Okay. Good. 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 Now, I saw on your website you had something, and I was very intrigued by it. I must say, and it talks about eat according to your genes, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess when you say genes, you eat according to your genes, your DNA, I guess. What
that's right.
exactly do you mean by that?
That's a great addition to my practice. So what is it? It's based on a very cool science. It's called nutrigenomics. So what is nutrigenomics? It's two words: nutri, which is nutrition, and genomics, which is related to genetics. So it's a science that looks at the interaction between nutrients and genes and vice versa. So the genes with nutrients. So what this service is that I partnered with a company. It's a Canadian company called Nutrigenomics with an X at the end. And this company provides, it has labs. It's based at the University of Toronto, and it has labs that tests your samples. So you can, like, if my one of my clients is interested in nutrigenomics information, so what they need is they need to provide a sample from like just swapping the inside of their cheeks, and they can provide a sample that can be tested in the lab, where they look at 70 genes from their cells, and they tell them if they have a risk of a deficiency of any nutrients that they test. Also, they tell them about any response from their genes related to physical activity, related to weight management, related to like gluten intolerance or caffeine or lactose intolerance. So it's a very cool test that tells you exactly, like, gives you an individualized kind of suggestions. Like, we have some general ideas and general suggestions, but when you see that like your genes respond more to this kind of nutrient or to a supplement versus food sources, like for example for vitamin D specifically, like I've seen many people need extra vitamin D, to, like, to support specific functions in their body. And like that also like can appear on your genes, that you need extra vitamin D to, so you don't have deficiency in vitamin D.
I see. I see. Okay. So now, so basically, what it is, you're looking at your genes, your makeup of your whole body, and what you might be. Is it just looking for things that you are deficient in, or does it looks and says, okay, you belong to this strain or of this ethnic background, and therefore you are more prone to this disease, or does it just tell you, okay, you have these deficiencies?
Yeah. So, first of all, it's not a diagnostic test, but it's more of like a test that tells you if you need to be, if you need to pay attention to specific areas in relation to your diet or lifestyle, because also it gives you some ideas about your, about things that you might be intolerant to, or also your physical activity performance, and all that.
I see, I see. Okay, and so this test, you said you have partnered with another company. So if somebody wanted to get this test, they can go to your website and and order the test, or they have to go to this company you have partnered with.
They have to go through me, because this company like partners with healthcare professionals, and like all the tests has to go through the practitioner, to be ordered through. I order the test for them, whoever is interested.
Okay, alrighty, good, good. So
And I
that's
share,
something.
and the results, sorry about that, I share the results with them, as well, because it needs to be, interpreted, in a way that is clear and easy for them to understand.
Oh, okay. So once they do the test, they have to do it through you as the practitioner. The results come back to you, and
Yes.
then you interpret those results for them, or it comes back with a report already interpreted.
Yes.
Yeah.
It comes with a report that is amazing. Like it's colorful, it's beautiful. It's, like also categorized by like by nutrients and by categories. But it needs to, like, we need to, like, interpret it in a way that is clear, because it might be overwhelming at the beginning, because it's a big report.
I see. I see. So is this in the holistic view of treating a client? Then
Yes.
would you say that this would be the starting point, or would you say that somebody comes and say, look, they've been diagnosed with diabetes, then your starting point is the A1c Victory Roadmap, or they come and there's some hormonal imbalance, so then you start with that workbook. So I guess it's there's no one particular step. It's based on what they come to you with. There's which one of these programs you're going to do.
Exactly. So it
I see.
depends on their interest, their goals, their budget,
Right.
and like, yeah, many other factors. And some people are interested in learning more about their genes. Some people are not. It's good to start with this test if they are interested in a genetic, testing,
Right.
because it kind of also gives us a more idea of like what the next steps are for their diet plans and lifestyle plans.
So would you recommend this for, let's say, somebody who is young, so they don't have anything, they don't suffer with anything, but they do this test to see what might be something that they could, try to put things in place from now to maybe delay or maybe even prevent some future disease? Or would you say, no, just wait until you get older and then do the test?
So yeah, it can be done by anybody who's interested in learning more about nutrients and genes and their own genes. So they can do it at any point of their life. Especially, like, I think like the test is designed for people who are above 18, so they can, like, be involved in that. And also, they get a specific report, like, based on their goal. They have like a health report, they have fertility report, they have plant-based report if they are interested in plant-based, kind of
Okay.
lifestyle. And they have like other kind of also like aspects that they look at specific parameters related to the goal of the client.
I see. Okay. So I saw on your Instagram you had a
Yeah.
post there. Weight cycling is bad for you. First of all, what is weight cycling? And then tell me, why is it bad?
Yes. This is a very, very good question, and a big idea that I'm also involved in. So I consider myself also a health at every size practitioner. So that means that I help people reach their goals no matter what their size is. I don't focus on a number on the scale. And like related to your question is like weight cycling. Weight cycling, it means that if a person goes on a diet, loses weight, and then stops the diet, gains the weight back, goes on another diet, loses the weight, goes on another diet, stops the diet, gains weight, and so on. And we call this yo-yo dieting or weight cycling.
I know it all too well.
We have been all like I myself, many people have been involved in diets, and the problem with diets is that, and what we know about diets, that they work for a short period of time and then they stop working because they affect the metabolism of the body, and so on and so forth. So the weight cycling, the thing that we just explained, is that it can be harmful because the research shows that people who are involved in lots of those cycles of like weight loss and weight gain, they actually are at a higher risk of developing chronic conditions like inflammation and type 2 diabetes. And unfortunately, many people are involved in that, and many times people blame weight, specifically weight as your body weight, as the indicator that, oh, you have insulin resistance and pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes because you have a weight issue. But sometimes it's not the case. The case is because you were involved in lots of yo-yo dieting, and unfortunately we still don't know what's the like why this is happening. But diet and lifestyle, no matter what your size, no matter what your weight is is very helpful in dealing with the condition.
Right. So what do you do? What would you suggest to, not be in this cycle, get out of this cycle, or lose the weight and keep the weight off?
Okay. Yeah, so first of all is not to think about weight as the all like all what you are looking for. You can look at behavior in a different way. So first, you want to create habits that are beneficial for your lifestyle. Like for example, managing blood sugar by having like more fiber, eating more whole grains, eating fresh vegetables, uh, fruit, like using good types of oils in your diet, things like that. So you are doing the right kind of behavior versus looking at a number on the scale, which might be helpful or not. Unfortunately, most of the time, and especially in the system, we look a lot at a number on the scale, and we feel that if a person loses the weight, they might lose the weight in an unhealthy way, like for example by depriving themselves, or by like getting involved in those crash diets where they lose the weight and it looks good on the scale, but it might not be good for their health, where they are nutrient deficient. And not only that, but also they are, I don't want to say life deficient, but yeah, like they feel that they are out of social life, because food is not, and I love talking about this because food is not just nutrients and health related things. Food is celebration, is culture, is community,
Oh,
is
yes, I love
fun.
complete.
Exactly. And food is life, it's fun, it's more than just like looking at it as just like calorie in or calorie out, and all this idea about it.
Good, good. So, Nora, tell us, I mean, tell our viewers out there, if they need your services, they want to be part of this gene testing, or they want to take, get involved with this A1c Victory Roadmap. How do you get in touch with you, or how, can they get your services?
Yes. So they can, of course, reach to my website, www.nourishwithnoura.com. And also, they can follow me on Instagram at Nourish with Noura. They can like find all of my contact information on the website, and they can like give me a call or send me an email.
Right. And once they do that, it will be basically to book a time with you to and then see them.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of a free discovery call. So first of all, we see if we are a good fit to work together, if they find my services and all the things that we talk about is like something that they are interested in. So I
Okay.
have a 30 minutes of free consultation, and
Okay.
if we decide to work together, we book a session, and we book like for the program.
Okay, good. But that's good. So you hear that, viewers out there? There's a 30-minute free session consultation with Noura to determine, how her programs can help you. So please take full advantage of that. Noura, it was a pleasure having you on today's program. You took that this time and give us a lot of information, and certainly not just information, but you provided a lot of solutions with these different work plans, the roadmap that you have, the workbook that you have, and even the gene testing, some solutions that it would be quite helpful. So we want to thank you very much for sharing all of that with us. And,
Thank you.
we were really happy to have you on the program.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Good, good. Well, viewers, that was our program for today. That was Noura Sheikhalzoor, and you can get in touch with her, or if you want to get to be able to have a free consultation, a free 30-minute consultation, at least the first one, you can go to our website, nourishwithnoura.com. I'll put the website on the screen. Please visit her website and take advantage of her consultation, free consultation, and ensure that we all look out for our health. So with that, we'll catch you on the next one. Take care and good night.